just get going?
So we'll start with Coach. Paul George will join us as soon as he's out of the shower, just be a couple of minutes. But Coach, why don't you start things off? General comment, your thoughts on the first game?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to thank the city of Las Vegas for a fabulous week of hosting us again and providing a great atmosphere for us to train. And what a beautiful arena, great crowd. For us is an excellent week. Overall, I thought was good for our team. We got to play everybody double-figure minutes, a lot of different combinations. A huge thing for us during these 5 exhibition games is to try to be in game shape by the time we get to Rio. These guys are coming off of either not playing or playing real long, and they're not there where they will be. In saying that, though, I thought we hustled really well. We shared the ball. We really have an inside presence offensively on the boards with both those guys. And Argentina's Sergio's one of the best coaches in the world, and he has a lot of young guys. So I know he's bringing them along, and but their movement is more similar to a European team, and I think he would say that too. And the other exhibitions that we play will not be that way. And so this was good. Their movement is very good, and so we got a lot to look at. And Jimmy rolled his ankle a little bit. That's why he didn't come in, but it's minor. He should be fine. So, any questions that you all might have?
Would you, if you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you and identify yourself, and we'll go from there. Oops.
Yeah,
Mike, can you use the mic, please?
Yeah. Hi, Mike. Dick Weiss. Can you talk a little bit about your rebounding? I mean, you almost doubled them up for a while. It really, with the 2 centers, it really gives you a different look than maybe you had in 12.
Well, it's really a different look than we've had since '08, but even then, that with Dwight and Chris Bosh. Chris was like a perimeter big who played out unbelievable ball screen defense and helped us. These 2 guys are low post. They work real hard at it. And, we didn't shoot very well. And we were kept in the game by their offensive rebounding and inside scoring. And then we forced some turnovers. So that's something to build on. You could tell those guys got tired, though. It's not a walk-up game, and so they're kind of running sprints, and they get tired real quick. But also, hopefully, that means that they'll get in shape real quick.
Over here, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, Willie Ramirez from the Associated Press. At the beginning of the week, you had mentioned some of the players throughout the week that this has the possibility of being one of the greatest defensive Olympic teams. Did you see a lot of the things that you were expecting and hoping to see?
Yeah, first of all, I think there's a willingness to play it. Like the guys want to play it. And then it's just a matter of us getting down to where we understand our coverages on wing, top ball screens, DHOs, stuff like that. So it's coordinated. It's still not coordinated because guys do it a little bit differently on each team. And but the willingness is there. And then we went to that lineup to match their lineup where we could switch 1 through 5, and they had a hard time scoring. And I wanted to get different units in there. If the unit they started in the third quarter and what we started, our unit was not the defensive team that we would normally would want against them. But I think we can play really good D. And DeMar had his hands on a lot of balls, and Paul will come here, but Paul's really good. Paul was on both ends of the court. And then either he and Jimmy, Clay, DeMar, those are very active defenders on the perimeter.
Steve Eshman, NBA.com. How'd you feel about the communication out there for first game and over these games that you are playing? Is that going to be an intentional thing to work on, or does that just sort of happen?
No, we have to speak the same language. In other words, with coverages, they have to get accustomed to my voice, from the bench, on the bench. No, it's something we work on all the time. But again, there's a willingness from these guys to work on everything that we think we need to work on. They've been outstanding. They're really a good group of guys, and we have good talent, good athleticism.
Coach, Rico Cabrera, East LA Sports Scene. Coach, you happy with the perimeter shooting? Fantastic tonight with Paul George, Kevin Durant, and then Carmelo Anthony closing it out. Your thoughts on the three-point accuracy tonight?
Well, I thought when we started the game, that's all we wanted to do, and we took the shot without movement. And again, I want them to shoot, obviously. They can't shoot. But it would be good if we had some movement, when we're doing it, and getting a team rhythm in doing it. And when we started shooting well, I thought it was more of a team rhythm, and then we got into a Durant rhythm, for a little bit. And, in London, our two leading scorers were KD and Carmelo, and they shot total, over 50% from the three-point line. So, we feel good about our shooting. I mean, Clay was 0 for 4 in the first half, and he'll obviously be there, and he was in the second half. Just if we have a little rhythm when we're going into it, I think that helps.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is a team that has unusual ability to run the floor. You get 10 guys, you can almost get a green light to, and they can handle the ball in transition. Is your ultimate goal going to be to attack the basket as often?
Well, we would like to drive the ball, but I think we'll show them a number of times where we just came down and tried to penetrate without moving the defense. And, look, all these teams are good where you're not going to be able to do that. If we just get a little bit of movement and then drive, that would be a key thing. And it shouldn't just be from the ball screen. It should be from hit, cut, try to drive elbows, kick, that type of thing. And we've been working on that. These guys score the ball really well. And so you're not going to tell them not to shoot, but you would like to tell them to shoot in rhythm, and a team rhythm is what I'm saying.
Go in here.
They're ignoring you. Just.
Quick return to Dennis Sports. That was something you alluded to there earlier, in terms of the versatility, the ability to slash, kick, hit open jumpers, and I mean, with the guys on the wing, it's almost an embarrassment of riches, if you will. Paul George, DeMar DeRozan, Clay, as you alluded to, Jimmy Butler, and that mix. I'm probably leaving somebody out. Is it a problem? Do you guys have? Is there something that you have, an identity that you guys are hanging your hat on, or is it just?
No, we're developing our personality, and we felt once the team was selected that a huge plus for us was our perimeter play, especially with the big athletes, drivers. I mean, you have, with Clay, DeMar, Paul, Jimmy, and then really you use on the perimeter, they're not slashers, but either Carmelo, KD, so they're all strong though, so when you can have different lineups in and they can still defend. A guy that I thought played really well tonight was Kyle Lowry. And you talk about changing your role from a team that you play on to this team. He didn't even, I finally told him the last time, I said, will you please take one shot at least? And, and he just wanted to be a point guard for everybody. And he's smart. And so you like to see guys, they just naturally are doing what the team needs to do. And that's what I mean about willingness. There's a real willingness to do that.
Go ahead.
Paul's taking a long shower. Just either that or he dries himself off longer than anyone in the history of USA basketball.
Speaking of Paul, what emotions have you felt for him this weekend tonight, just given his injury?
Yeah,
2
you know,
years ago?
we didn't want to talk about it. I think that's, he never wanted to talk about it, and obviously it didn't bother him. I think he's playing the best basketball of his life right now, and he is a guy, I think, I'm not saying the other guys aren't in 100% yet shape that they will be in. I think he is. I think he's ready to roll. He's probably a guy that never really gets that much. He might go to 97, or he's just a very gifted athlete. And to see him come back like this, he's a really good guy to coach because you can play him everywhere. We even when the two point guards got 2 fouls real quick, we had him bring the ball up. I would like every once in a while to take a look at that too.
In the back.
Hey,
Yeah.
Coach, you talked earlier in the week about how this team could be one of the better defensive teams
Yeah.
that you guys have had. Defensively in this game, did you like what you saw, and particularly guarding the perimeter where you guys had 10 steals in the first half?
Yeah, overall, the second half, the start of the second half was not good. And our guys have to understand, the teams that we play internationally are really good spot-up shooters. Yeah, they all of them, they can all shoot. And so in your coverages and how you react, they have good movement, which give them windows of opportunity. And I thought sometimes we didn't make the decision if it was Nocioni and Ginobili and someone else, you would go to them instead of that. And that, I mean, the other guy couldn't hit it, but that's the kind of stuff, we have to, we have to keep getting better on. And when you talk about communication, that's part of that communication.
Coach, all the way in the back here. Can you just sum up your whole week in Las Vegas and maybe talk about some of the early
25
goals?
words or less. So
Right. Some of the early goals you had, and if you feel you've accomplished what you wanted to say.
Well, I didn't come in like I had, my 10 goals for Vegas. What I wanted to have was, can we just keep developing a chemistry? Will we have a really good attitude? I wonder how much they can practice. I wonder. You wonder. So I'm not sure that their goals, they're what you learn. So what I've learned was I have a team that's very willing to work. They're very unselfish. They like one another. I've never seen Jimmy Butler in person. I hadn't seen Paul in 2 years. Kyle Lowry in person as a pro. So this week is part of me learning who they are. And then, the answers to all those questions were correct, were really good answers. Jimmy's better. Boy, he's good. Paul's off the charts. Kyle is there. And then the 2 big guys want to be big guys. They want to be big guys. And they're okay doing all the dirty work. And so the rest of the guys love that. When you have big guys who do that, that's a very good thing. Now, they don't have old big guys, so they have younger guys. So that's something when, as we get into the Olympics, that like even in our pool we're Serbia, even though we beat them for the World Cup, they're big. They're really strong men inside. That type of thing. We'll see how we'll be able to react to that.
Coach, you back here. Can you just speak a little briefly about Draymond and Harrison?
Yeah, they did well. I think they both came off of an exhausting finals. So I think they just need to get accustomed to playing again. So you just broke the record for the longest shower in the history of this arena. Although this arena hasn't been here, you beat like entertainers and rap artists or whatever the heck they've had. Have they had any? Oh, the Globetrotters. They had the Globes. You beat them too. So listen, why don't you ask him questions now, because I'm getting
Yeah, Paul-
tongue-tied. Yeah.
Give him some water. Somebody give him some water.
Hey, Paul, why don't you start with just your general thoughts on your first
Where's it
game?
coming from? Where's it coming
Over
from?
here, I'm going to say. Me. Just,
It was just great. It was great to get back out there, play alongside a lot of special talent. It's good to get my feet back wet. This time I made some shots. It was good. I think it was a good first game for all of us. A lot of stuff we still need to work on, but I know Coach K is going to continue to tighten us up.
questions? Just wait for a mic, please.
Hey, Paul. Tim Bunce from the Washington Post. I saw you on TV. You said that you felt a little eerie getting back out on the court here. Is this kind of the final step for you to finally be able to put everything behind you to get back out here in Team USA and playing a game and kind of have everything over with now?
Really the final step in the chapter of this is coming home with that gold. This was definitely a huge step for me personally, but as a whole, it's winning that gold.
Quaker Turks and Daily Sports Hill. How we've all made a vow not to talk about your injury too much or anything, but what's your mentality? I've known guys before. Sometimes they pull a hamstring or roll an ankle that they're cautious going out there. So is it just building off of the regular NBA season that you had that gave you the confidence that you can do everything that you were capable to do before and everything like that? Or?
Yeah. My first game back that year where I was rehabbing all the way up until I had the mindset. Any point I was on that court, I wasn't going to even think about the injury. I was still out there trying to make defensive plays and shooting passing lanes, limping. It's behind me. It's behind me. I don't play the game expecting to get hurt. I know it's a possibility, but there's no thought in my mind that I'm ever going to get hurt. I play this game because I love it, and I just play hard. Certainly. You appreciate the process, all the little stuff. I really appreciate. From training camps to the two-a-days. You just appreciate being on that floor.
Paul, Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. The chemistry seemed to be fluid as the game progressed, but on the bench, when certain rotations would come out, the conversations, the laughter, the bonding, did that happen, what you were looking for this first week of camp leading to the road to Rio? It just looked like everyone was having a good time, having fun once you came off the floor.
Yeah, we built this chemistry from day one, first day of practice. Everybody has to, as Coach K always says, bring that ego. But you have to be open. We're going to be with each other. Usually in the NBA season, you got time to build chemistry. It's a long season. We're playing for about, a month. So we have to be on the same page early. And we have to be open with one another. It's the only way we're going to get this accomplished. So it's good. We have great guys who are just willing, to let go of themselves and just enjoy this process.
Steve Eschberner, NBA.com. This might play a little bit into that. When you're on a team with so many talented teammates, especially early coming together, how do you find that line between deferring too much, knowing when to assert yourself, not wanting to be a hog, whatever it is? How do you develop that?
You just play the game. Just play the game, but you have talent around you. No one is putting pressure on themselves as they have to do this, they have to do that. You just play the game. You do what made you special, and it's the reason why we're all here as a group, because of our special individual talent. You put that together with 5 guys on that court that can do the same thing. It's no pressure. You want to play alongside one another, and you want to share that court with these guys.
Paul, back here, way in the back, Paul. You were inserted into the game, into the first quarter, of course, and your rhythm, your timing, and your excellence in performing offense was great. You just found that rhythm. Was there anything that you felt right after the first shot that you knew you were in that zone?
Yeah, I just felt good. I felt good about warm-ups. I felt good, just
being in that half-court set, you know, my shot just felt good tonight. So all I could really say, I had a good warm-up today.
Time for one more question. Would you wait for a mic? I got a mic right there.
Chris Matthews, CBS here in Vegas. Coach, can I just ask you a little bit about the lots been written about the health and safety down in Rio. Have you talked to the players, the team, and just your impressions and concerns about that?
You know, it's interesting you're asking that question. You know, we got here earlier, you know, for the game. So I know Sergio, their coach, very well. And we were talking about his training camp and ours. And he said, have you ever been to Rio? And I said, no, I've never been. He says, it's a beautiful city. You will love it. It's one of my favorites. The people are good. And he just went through, he says, all that stuff, don't let it get to you. You know, people like to talk about the negative. It's a beautiful place. And so, yeah, we're there to win a gold medal. And obviously, it's an honor for us to be in Brazil in order to do it. But we'd rather focus on all the positives that will occur. And it was really interesting. You should interview him and ask him his impression. He said, it's one of my favorite cities in the world. And he says, and then he was talking about places that I didn't know about. So I said, you should go there, and especially if we play you. You should go there the night before. I think he was setting me up. In fact, he was setting me up. He was, that dirty dog. That dirty dog.
Thank you very much, Coach. Paul, thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, all right. Good job.